Hey, lovely family. Once again, I'm back with something new. This is the oat banana cake recipe. Yes, if you are dieting, this is one recipe you really want to try out. So let's pick the ingredients we need for this recipe.
And so I've got some oats, I've got some banana, I've got some milk powder, egg with some vanilla essence, I've got some margarine. You can use butter instead. To help it rise, I've got yeast, dried yeast. I've got sugar to help the yeast rise. I've got salt to help the oat taste better. I've got some nutmeg. And at the corner here, I've got some water and I've got a glass. I've been mixing the yeast in.
So I'm going to begin by blending my dried ingredients. So I'm going to blend the oats with the um, salt and that one. Then the sugar and the yeast is going to go into the glass. I'm going to mix that one with water and let it mix up together beautifully. Yeast and salt don't match, so I don't want to mix the salt with the flour thing. That's why I separated the dried yeast in there. So I just make sure all the dried ingredients go into the blender, then I blend it together. So that's basically the nutmeg, your salt, your milk, and then your oats. Then you blend that into a very beautiful powder as well. And mind you, you want to keep some of the whole oats alongside as well. So you can be mixing it in to get a little bit of texture. Else it's going to be all too smooth, too fluffy, too soft. Unless that's how you want it. But then I would always recommend you keep a cup of like whole oats at the side as well. So once I blend and it's smooth, I'm just going to pour it into my mixing bowl. But before that goes in, I'm just going to mash up my banana. Just three is okay for me. Yes, so this is like my finger size. Yes, a little bigger than my finger size. I didn't weigh that, but then just three is okay. Then you're going to mash it. You can mash with your fork. I was mashing with my spoon. Don't mind me. I know my dad will be very, 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 very not too happy right now. Yes, but I mashed with my spoon. I don't know where my forks were. Maybe I was feeling lazy looking for them. So yes, I mashed with my spoon till the banana was fairly smooth, not overly smooth. I don't really need it overly smooth. Then I added in the margarine. Yes, you can use butter as well. So I mixed that in as well to get a very when it was fairly well mixed, then I proceeded to add in or crack my egg in there as well to also get it to mix together. The egg had essence in, essence helps with the aromatics in there as well. In there. So I just mixed that in as well. Now this is actually like banana cake. Oh. But yes, I'm going to be adding the oat flour to it as well. Now, um, one thing you should also notice, you can decide to just finish here and then just bake it. It will bake. It will work perfectly. The only thing is, oat struggles to rise without so much aid. So yes, you get very dense cake, but then that is also okay. So if you want to check that, you can also add maybe baking powder and baking soda in, and you get a perfect banana oat cake. Now, I was just doing this little experiment and I wanted to, initially, I was actually planning to do bread rolls with it, but then I realized the banana was a bit too much and so it was very soft and my oat flour I had was limited. So I didn't want to stress. So I decided to do it into cake instead. And I used the, what do you call it, the yeast, the dried yeast in there instead of the baking powder and baking soda, which usually I use to see how well the mixture was going to rise. And my honest take is that when it comes to the yeast with this, it's going to rise, but you get a little aftertaste in there as well. So I think what works best with this for me, for my end, is the baking powder and baking soda in there as well. That's what I would really recommend. But the yeast also works. It helps it rise because when I was doing it, it was able to rise properly and it was well aerated. But when it cools down, it's still going to flatten up for you as well. So those are my honest take or my honest opinion in there as well. I have to be as real as possible with you so you don't get disappointed or anything when you do. So once you're done, make sure you also grease your pans, and then I'm using my dad the same as usual to cook. So I want to heat it up So it was very hot. And as it's heating, your mixture is also sitting and resting. So you realize it had increased in size. And oat absorbs water. So as it's sitting, it's also absorbing the water. Then I just scoop it into my pans. I spread it out, make sure it's evenly spread there. Then I sprinkle some oats because it's oat banana cakes I'm making. Yes, I sprinkle some oats in there to also make it look good. And then, yes, be generous with the oats. Then I placed it into my at the same. Then I lowered the heat. Then I allowed it to cook or bake by itself. Yes, it just took me like 30 minutes to honestly make it. But then every 10 minutes, I rotated. So I rotated this 3 times. Rotation means you have to take the one down, let it go up, just swap them so that all of them have good temperature and then even cooking. And this was the end. It was very beautiful, it was very tasty, and I really did enjoy this as well. So, yes, this is nice, simple oat cake recipe. Don't be envious of me eating. Oh, let's go and watch me eating it. Let's go and watch. Let's go and watch. Let's watch. So just in case you've not subscribed, you've not yet liked, please do want to subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you in the next food video. Do live life to the fullest. Be joyous. Be merry. Lots of love from my team and I. Mwah.